Liam walked to the edge of the platform, his shoes crossing the yellow caution pane as he looked down. The subway tracks below were dark and rusted, like a long stretch of robotic teeth that ran infinitely. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, exhaling slowly as he tried to calm the noise in his head. He could hear the distant cry of the train still far away, and now that he was hearing it, he was sure his decision was final. He opened his eyes with bittersweet clarity and followed the tracks into the tunnel, where the headlights of the train were just coming into view. That was it, the train that would end his life. It wouldn't be long now. Feeling anxious, he looked around the metro, and at 2 a.m., there wasn't a soul in sight. That's good. Less people to see the mess, at least, he thought to himself. Listening to the train get closer, he loosened his tie and set his suitcase down, his toes still touching the edge of the platform. He took out his phone, wallet, and keys and set them gently on top of the suitcase. This way, they wouldn't have trouble identifying him and the process would be a little easier on them. He closed his eyes again and breathed deeply. It was all he had left to do before the jump.
Sir, excuse me, sir!
A voice was shouting, and Liam couldn't help but feel an immediate irritation. He looked to see a businessman like himself running toward the platform, coffee in one hand, suitcase in the other. Liam's eyes darted around briefly, hoping there was someone else there, but unfortunately, it was just him. The man arrived quickly, his wingtip shoes squeaking to a stop. He stopped next to Liam, immediately holding out his coffee and suitcase.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to be a bother. Could you hold these for a moment?
He asked. His gelled hair was a little frantic from his run. Pardon? I'm a little busy here, man. Liam asked, clearly annoyed, glancing toward the train.
It'll just take a second, I promise, please.
He replied with a cool smile. Liam sighed heavily and obliged, keeping his focus on the train. The man thanked him and pulled a comb from his suit. With delicate precision, he ran the comb through his hair. Then, he straightened his tie and smoothed the wrinkles from his suit. Seeming satisfied, he turned to Liam and stood straight. The train was almost there.
Well, how do I look?
He asked, taking his belongings back. Good, Liam replied as he turned back to the train.
Wonderful. I'm deeply sorry, my friend, but I had to make sure nobody took my day from me,
he said. And to Liam's horror, he jumped down to the tracks.